welcome back to the Bleach Wiki podcast. We're back for chapter 618, The Dark Arm. That's what it was. I'm Zill.
Sal.
I told you we were doing something like that. I told you.
I told you. Well, then, Nadia. No, I'm Sun.
Yep, and just the three of us, and yeah. So we're back again after a few lengthy debates. So this week we got the official return of Aizen, I'd say, aside from his little two panel like debut in the last chapter. We got a oh dear, hold on. So do you guys want to talk about that real quick while I get my cat out of the way?
What did you do with your cat?
She's clawing at the door.
She's clawing at the door.
Yes.
He wasn't even ready, Sal. He wasn't even ready.
That's okay, because you know
So
what?
that's what I am.
Fact, cats are useless animals.
I like
What?
cats. They're easy to look after.
Okay, well, when's the last time you seen a cat save somebody from a burning building? Go ahead, I'll wait.
Well, I believe it.
Nah.
I heard somewhere once that like cats will like eat your body if you die and they run out of food. Like if no one finds your body, they'll start eating it.
Cats try to smother babies when they're sleeping. So, anyway.
Speaking of cats, let's go to Shunsui and Aizen because segues.
Black to Bleach. So we were talking about last week about, oh my God, Aizen's free, but it does not look like. I think it looks more like he can move around, but he's not necessarily free, because it seemed like if he was free, then he wouldn't have needed. Then Shunsui wouldn't have to use the keys at all. So apparently he's able to move around within the confines of the area, but apparently it's not free in the way that we think.
I'm not so sure about that because what I took from that was so in the last chapter Shunsui was like, oh my God, he removed all the seals. How did he do that? In this chapter he used the keys on his left eye and his ankles, even though he's already moving around. And Aizen's like, oh, you haven't changed. What I think was basically Shunsui's method of, like, counter-trolling him. And being like, oh, you're already moving around, but let me just unlock your stuff anyway.
I don't think he would have did it that way. It would seem to me that the seals don't necessarily correspond to movement, but maybe the Retsu thing.
Oh.
Because...
So right around his left eye and his ankle, oh boy. Jeez.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about it this way. Remember when what's his name shuts off, when Tosin shuts off all your senses, and Zaraki was pretty much working with nothing except, I guess, touch or whatever, or it's kind of like that. I mean, your Retsu corresponds to like damn near everything, and I believe the last chapter was more along the lines of, oh, you can't speak to me with your Retsu. If anything. I think the seals pretty much incapacitate in the form of Retsu dampening.
Well, it seemed like Aizen actually couldn't talk with this Retsu because it couldn't reach Shunsui from where he was. Like it seemed like it was confined around him.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like with the seals, that they're pretty much cutting him off from that capability.
All right, hold on.
What have you done now? What's he doing?
Well, let's not stop. So, Son, what do you think?
Well, what were we talking about? What part were we talking about? The seals. The
seals. And...
No, I was kind of glad that it wasn't like just, oh, he's done all the seals himself or whatever, but I got a bit confused last week with it all.
Yeah.
Because it was all like he not woke up, but was just walking up, and it was all like, yeah, I'm Aizen, bitch, Aizen Kai.
I think we got all confused because we were assuming that, he's, I guess in that picture, like he was nailed to the wall or something like that, or he couldn't move, or he was wrapped up like freaking Imhotep in the Mummy, and that somehow, I mean, even the worst prisoners are allowed to move around their cell, and you know, I
Yeah.
think he just couldn't. He didn't have access to a lot of his typical capabilities. 'Cause if that was the case, then I'm thinking they would have, you know, he would have been out.
Yeah, well, I actually about that, that's something that confused me last week, and obviously I know I was out again, so I missed the thing. Um, how didn't Eisen talk to Juju Man whenever Juju Man visited him?
Apparently, but we
Yeah.
don't know. We don't know what in what form that took.
Okay, so
Well,
we don't.
it
I
well
could have sworn he
okay.
told him to.
So I'm just gonna work with the logic presented us in this chapter. So it seemed like he couldn't talk before with his mouth, like physical talking, because it was bound, right?
Right.
So
So
yeah, well, most
and
like
so and
the
yeah, and so it's like, oh, so you talk with your Ritsu, but it won't reach me because it's bound to you. And he said that I can't go any further into the darkness because I'm an innocent. So I'm thinking Juju Man went in the darkness and went up to him and was like, "Oh, hi," which is why they could talk.
Okay. Right. Got
well,
you.
the darkness seems to be his thing. You know, the shadow travel thing, and
Shadow.
to basically, you know, get to the point, whatever Shunsui basically did the obvious thing that we knew he was going to do. He's like, oh yeah, you brought all these keys, and he's like, actually, I got all the daggone keys. They only want me to use
All.
3, but hey,
Yeah.
I cheated by, you know, doing little minor surgery here and implanting them in my body, and
Wait, wait, wait,
bam.
wait, 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 wait. That's not quite the case. Manga Panda fucked up.
Okay.
So, it turns out it was not. He didn't put the keys to Aizen's seals in his chest. He put the key to Mugen itself. And so, if Aizen killed him, he would never be able to get out because apparently the key would just because the key was in his heart. So, like, if his heart stopped beating, I guess then the key is destroyed. But like, so basically,
Right.
so Central 46 actually managed to out troll Aizen for once,
Oh, right. So it's a bit
which is
like the way the
hilarious.
whole Gyoku was inside Wikia, and the only way to get it out was either complete and utter annihilation via the Soul Gyoku, or
Or reaching within without
yeah,
your
that
technique
with
that
that way of
has yet
thinking.
to be named. But like, yeah, it was
Yeah.
like that.
Okay. So
And
it's a bit like
so
that. So if they had done it any other way, then they wouldn't have been able to get it. Right.
yeah, and so Aizen like the funny thing is everyone knows that like Aizen would have killed Shunsui if he could just to get out of there. But like, and so they're like, okay, we're gonna make it so that if you kill him, you can't get out, which is hilarious. And I also liked how that one random attendant tried to bind him. Like, do you not know how powerful this guy is? Seriously?
Yeah, I know. Like, were you not there?
Yeah,
Did
and
you?
his hands just got destroyed by coming into contact with his Retsu, which reminded me of when he passed by that human and it just kind of crumbled away.
Yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah.
that was both horrifying and hilarious.
You know, and the funny thing about this is that this is the typical bad guy, good guy, bad guys locked up, but we kind of need his help situation here, and Aizen's dialogue goes so well with that because it's basically what you expect him to say in that situation because it's been done so many times, and it's
Yeah.
essentially, oh, you think that I would come up with you and lend my power to fight, and which is like, you know, Shunsui was like, I didn't ask you nothing about fighting. I'm saying you do what you feel you need to do because, you know, this guy's going to destroy everything, and that's not no good for you, and type
Yeah.
situation. So it's kind of like you're going to be on our side inadvertently because, you know,
Yeah.
and of
Everything's gonna get
course,
destroyed.
yeah, everything's gonna get destroyed, and we all know where that leads. You know,
Yeah.
they let Aizen out, and then you know Bach gets defeated whatever way and stuff like that, and then Aizen's like, ah ha ha, now I've been playing y'all all along, and we kind of
As he
knew
as
it.
he as he
Type
twists his
situation.
curly mustache
Yeah,
and ties
and
Orihime to the railroad tracks.
but his dialogue there was, oh, don't you wish to smell the to you know to breathe the air, and he's like, oh, you mean the air that's all fucked up there because you know
Yeah.
Quincy done pretty much destroyed everything, like why
Yeah.
would I want to do that, like, so it's this little game that has
Yeah.
been played out so many times before that you already know where it's going.
Yeah. Well, they both knew what each other wanted, and so they were just acting according to that. Before we move on, I just want to say I'm glad that Aizen hasn't lost his sass any because when Shunsui is like, I came here to free you, and Aizen's like, I didn't ask you to free me.
Yeah.
Mm,
He has.
it's pretty great.
But still,
Um,
Shinsui is still awesome too. Sorry.
yes. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, putting like a key within your heart just to counter Aizen is pretty good. Um, so moving back to the Soul Palace again. So, so apparently
I haven't
that
seen
panel.
Getsuga Tensho in a while. Way.
Well, actually, we saw it maybe 20 chapters ago.
Yeah, I know. Oh
25?
wow.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but like, and it was a different one. But before that, so Aizen was,
Yeah,
or,
it was a
no,
different thing.
not
So I
not
hadn't actually
Aizen.
seen Getsuga Tensho.
Juju Man was. I'm confusing Aizen and Juju Man
Too
now.
many bad guys, too many good guys. Man,
There's
let's
like
go.
two bad guys right now, two important ones at least. But so Juju Man was trying to reach the Soul King in Mimihagi, and he at first I thought he was creating this like shadow sphere to like I don't know stab them with, but according to one of the people in the comments, like Mimihagi was blocking him with like a wall of shadows, and so he's gonna destroy them. But Ichigo wasn't having that shit, so he grabbed his arm, dispersed the attack, and let Yoru Ichigo and make
Well,
a
yeah.
barrier, which was
And Yoruichi did some very serious barrier work in
Yeah.
this chapter. She
I
put
hope I
down
get this barrier's
seals.
name.
She put down seals. She created some type of artwork on the ground
yep. Yeah.
or
You know what?
something.
You know what was weird about that? Like the seals, I think they had the flower of the second division on them. I don't remember what it is, but it was one of the division flowers. And the thing on the ground reminded me of Tente Kuro, where they had to draw on their arm and stuff to
Mhm.
do it.
Yeah,
It-
yeah,
it
yeah. I was
did.
Yeah,
thinking the same
and so
thing.
it was apparently pretty complex to do, and it seems like it provides like the dual benefit of protecting Mimihagi and the Soul King, and I guess also well. No, I think just for protection, like it's a really powerful protective spell. Because I think she's assuming that Mimihagi is going to fully replace the Soul King, even though we know that it's just a temporary solution. But yeah, it was surprising to see her like use Kido because I don't think we've seen her do that outside of anime filler to this point. Until now it's all been Shunpo and Hakuda.
Really?
I think so. Yeah, I don't recall her ever using like a named spell like I don't know Sokatsui or whatever like a Bakudo. It's all been punches and speed. So
Well,
I don't know my memory.
Well, saying that, we
of,
still
like,
haven't seen any named things yet. So,
and any what?
well, that barrier wasn't named,
name.
right?
Well, yeah, you name things, yeah, but it's still Kido. So I'm just saying, I think it's her first usage of Kido in the manga, at least, and she seems pretty proficient with it, so that's good.
That is.
I mean, Sal might correct me if it turns out it's used like
Well,
something
I
or
will
another.
correct you on the maple leaf looking thing on the seals that she's using does not correspond to any Goatee
Division
13
flowers.
division
Okay, well, I
flower.
thought it might be like either like a Shihoan clan thing or a division thing because it seems like they have duties tied to the royal family, but if not, whatever. I guess it would be kind of weird if the second division had just happened to have a Kido for barriers, even though they're assassination.
I would point out that there's parts in this chapter that pretty much makes the case that I have been saying for a while that Bach is insane. He's
Yeah.
he's out of it. Something's
Yeah, no,
very
it
very
was,
wrong.
yeah, it
I mean, you
was.
kind of knew that, but there's a part in there where he says, "Ichigo, why did you stop me? You are the one that cut down the Soul King." And I'm just sitting there like,
Well, he didn't do it deliberately.
No,
you
even
facilitated that. What
even
the fuck are
before
you
that,
talking about?
Sal, even before that, he's like, Ichigo, move aside, like, because that's totally gonna happen.
I know. Hold on.
But he's acting like they're like Ichigo is his like best friend who sometimes like opposes him. Like, what the fuck even is that?
No, but I mean, it's just like how utterly
it was out of it.
delusional is this guy when he's like, "Why did you stop me?" Actually, asking a question, and then he's like, "You're the one who cut down the Soul King. The Quincy blood flowing through your veins should be unable to tolerate his very existence. Hence, you should not have a single reason stand in my way." What the hell are you smoking?
I
What
think
are
like
you smoking?
apparently he
Because
thinks that the Quincy blood influenced Ichigo's mind so much, and now he's a loyal like I don't
even we have
one. I
seen
remember.
the other Quincy, well, at least the ones that he's left behind, did not. I don't think they really, in all of their blind following of him, I don't think they really grasp the very nature of what they were involving themselves in.
Yeah, no, they didn't, because I think that only Uryu knew of what
Well, and probably Hashball.
of the yeah, well, Haswell told him, so Haswell
Yeah.
knew. But, like Haswell probably only told Uryu because he said like, oh, since you're gonna be the next emperor, you should know this, and none of the Sermon were gonna know we're the next emperor, so it didn't make sense to tell them, and also because they'd be like, oh, I'm not gonna do this, that's but
What was that?
yes, that is how Basby would react in his eloquent burn finger five.
My
But
grandmother gave us some butter. Sorry.
yeah, he man, yeah. But
And like, yeah, I mean, his delusional state is in such a way that it's like he really believes that being, and I get this why this all the other Quincy think this way. He really believes that being a Quincy somehow makes you superior or righteous or something like that, and that you know
racism, woo.
that it that the very blood that flows in your veins, his blood by the way, but the very Quincy blood that flows in your veins somehow dictates everything about your existence, and that existence is usually follow Bach and don't question anything he says type situation. So it's just like you should not have a single reason to stand in my way. Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
other
I
than
don't.
like his family,
Ichigo
Well,
was
other than
trying to
destroying
destroy.
existence.
yeah, yeah. Don't mind any of that. It's not important. Don't worry. Yeah, I mean, honestly, but like Ichigo was surprisingly like, what's the word for it? He came with some pretty solid points about countering Jujuman instead of being like, shut up, I don't want to listen to you, Dad, or whatever. Um, but like, cause I think that's one of the marks of his maturing over the time skip, and is that rather than like being completely broken by whenever his opponent starts like lecturing him like Aizen or Okuara did, he's just like he starts like countering them himself because he's so used to it that like he's just like I know where you're going with this, and no. I remember he did something similar with Kugo when Kugo was trying to tell him that he should oppose Ukitake and the Gote 13 because Ukitake put in the substitute Shinigami system, but instead he was like, I don't care like if like your blood runs in me, I can't just stand by and let you destroy everything, even if there are other people who can do it for me, which is true. Also, I loved Juju Man's little thing about like, you think Owen you can save all the worlds, and I'm just like, yes, because he's the main protagonist.
Yes.
Do you not know this by now? It's taking you a while, and
For a second there, I see as soon as I seen him actually yell at Ichigo, I was waiting for like, the Samari kind of, what gives you the right to judge us? You Shinigami, do you think you're better than us? And
oh,
I really thought
Zamari.
he was gonna do that. I thought
Oh
he was
yeah,
gonna
no
do
no
that.
way. That's like a Pepe thing, I
I
think.
know, but I totally
It's-
Yeah.
thought just for a second there, I was like, I thought he was
oh
gonna get
yeah,
angry and shout
it
at
was
Ichigo, going,
getting
why,
close to that,
why?
but like,
Yeah, yeah.
but at that point he wasn't angry. You could see the smile on his face
What
even as
gives
he
you
was
the right
yelling.
to judge us? It's our job.
It's
You're
our
sort of
job.
eating
You're an
souls.
asshole to everyone.
The pretty much the guy who controls existence pretty much made it our job.
Yeah.
You're
So
So
trying to
that's
kill
our right.
him
so
to
That's our
kill us.
authority.
yeah. Don't try to lecture me. Goddamn
Yeah.
Hannibal Lecter. But
So yeah, Ichigo fires back and then he hits him with a Black Getsuga Tensha, which kind of affirms what we understand about Ichigo's duality. Um, the little one is reminiscent of his Quincy power, and it has the normal color, I would assume blue. And
yeah.
then
I believe.
the bigger one is representative of his Shinigami power, which is
Also, his whole
also melded with his hollow ability, his hollow powers, so therefore it's black.
Yep, and it's more powerful, I think, because like it
Well,
seemed like well, I assume it's more powerful because like the black coloring was associated with his Bankai, and also it took out like a bunch of the palace, and even though it left Jujuman unharmed because he's Jujuman.
Reasons.
Yeah, well, it felt more powerful than the other one, which just kind of caused a small explosion when it hit Candace's Galvano javelin. That's what it was. Um, but yeah, it was pretty cool to see like that there's like a nice two colors and all that, even if it wasn't against a good Jujutsu, which was hype as hell.
I actually think I've
And
seen more Getsugas now than Rasengans, which is a lot.
actually, no, because first of all, if we were gonna go into this, I'm just gonna say, Ichigo has only defeated like opponent twice with the Getsuga. Once was Renji before he could even use the attack. The other was Aizen with his ultimate one, where Naruto is
No,
like
it's not
defeating
even
every
the
villain
defeat it
ever.
though. It's not the defeat part. He uses it so
No,
much. He spams
no,
it even when it doesn't work. He goes, right, this hasn't
pretty
worked. Hold on.
yeah, I'm pretty
Getsuga
sure. No,
Tensho!
I'm pretty sure Naruto's used more Rasengans. I could go through and count if I had to.
He actually used it against Byakuya, but he used it in one of the
But but
close-up.
but yeah, but no, no,
Yeah,
I'm saying, but he didn't defeat him with it.
yeah, he did. Yeah, he
No,
did.
he didn't.
He said at the end of the battle, that is a cool ability. Whenever he goes Shuke, isn't it Shuke? He goes Shuke, but unfortunately, I still only know one move. He gathers it in his blade and charges.
No.
Yeah.
Wait. What
No,
battle was
no.
that?
That,
That
that
was
was
the
the
battle
final
between.
battle between Ichigo and Byakuya on the hill. I'm pretty sure he
I
all he
don't
did was
remember.
like amp up.
Yeah, I don't remember
He's
that.
amped up his Raitsu and then charged and slashed.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, like a Getsuga Tensho isn't like a cutting attack; it's a blunt force attack, and Byakuya got cut.
The one time
So
he had left the attack in the blade was when he was fighting Yokira.
yeah,
Yeah, I know
so
he did it during that battle. Yeah, I know
So
that.
yeah, I mean he used it against Byakuya, wasn't defeat him, but I'm pretty sure there have been far more Rasengans, especially since like there have been like Shadow Clone and then Rasengan, which just multiplies how many times it's been used to
The
like a
issue
billion
here
percent.
is that Ichigo is kind of, when it comes to techniques, he's kind of one trick pony. The
Now a
newest
two-trick
one,
pony.
well, yeah, wait a minute. The newest one he did was a breath of fresh air. But the question is, how many Getsuga techniques is he going to throw out here? Because it doesn't
Okay,
seem like the main one is working.
like the way I see it is like in this case he could do a new one because he had two swords, and so he could fire two at once in a cross shape and then do a thing. But it seems
Do a
more like
thing.
do a thing. I am not very eloquent today. But like it seems that the more the Getsuga thing is that that unlike most techniques, it has a lot of room for like creative usage. Cause like it just bear with me. So like compared to I don't know, something like Higazeko or I don't know, Hikotsu Taiho or any one of like Hitsugai's ice techniques, whatever. Those have like one way to use them, and that's the way it works. But since Getsuga is just an energy attack, he can do things like keep it in his blade. He can like wrap it around himself. He can use it to destroy the ground. He can like fire multiple at once to catch opponent off guard. So it seems more like it's just to be used in different ways rather than one way over and over again. And he hasn't spammed it as much in this arc as he has in previous ones. Like I think
You want to know what's
he used it like let's
surprising?
maybe once or twice against Quilji, once against Jujuman, once against Candace, and then now once against Bach.
What's
So it's not
what
as prevalent. I
what's
wouldn't say.
surprising is that Ichigo has yet to enter Bankai. I would have thought he would have
Yeah,
already been in Bankai without even having
no,
started the fight.
of course not. I mean, like he wants he. I mean, of course not. Like
I
that's
mean,
not
he's
how it
probably
works.
like, come on, hit me with something so I can go on to Bankai. Come
All
on.
right, here's the thing, Sal. Like, out of the entire arc, I'd say only Kensei and Rose have been smart enough to go into Bankai immediately upon fighting a Stone Rider. And because even Kensei was like, I'm not gonna fuck around with my Shikai, and so everyone else is just kind of content with showing off.
Well, that was
So,
after
Well,
the fact.
yeah,
That was after
it's
they got the medallion thing out the way. And of
well,
course, he
yeah,
went like Bankai.
yeah, I know, but like even after that, like there's I don't know. Like it feels like everyone else, even in the fights that happened, like after the explosion that led everyone into groups,
mhm.
like those sorts of things. And
Well, on the Getsuga thing, he did definitely said I've looked up two different mangas now, and he definitely said sorry, but I don't have an awesome trick like that. Sangetsu only taught me Getsuga Tensho, which was a bad
Yeah.
translation. So the best I can do is to put all of my strength into one hit. Here I go. So
Yeah, hit was his sword.
Yeah, and
Not
on the next
Getsuga.
page, he's charging up a Getsuga Tensho. You can see it. It's not a hit with the sword. There's a big, massive Ryatsu blast, and then he smacks him.
I don't
Like
think
he
so.
doesn't do it the way he does it in like
I disagree with you.
Well, why the hell does he bring up that he only has Getsuga Tensho if he has that?
Because Byakuya used like 5
That's the
different
only
techniques that entire
technique.
thing.
Yeah, and why would he bring it
because
up if he's going
he
to
was
use
just
it?
commenting on how like Byakuya has all these cool techniques and he only has one, so he just
And
put
so he
all
uses suddenly a new technique?
No, he put all he
Well,
amped
that's
his
a new
Ritsu
technique
and
then.
attacked.
You're
He
basically
amped up
saying
his Ritsu and attacked, son.
Oh my God.
It's as simple as that. Like
Right,
otherwise
so you're going to say this picture looks like it's just...
What does the fight article say?
Look at the manga.
I don't. If Manga Fox will load, then I will.
Okay, then
Was
I'll
it
do
the
Manga Panda.
rematch? I believe
Yeah,
it
the
was.
rematch. Oh god.
And
Itself. Because it's not available in the US.
Okay, there's Manga Panda then.
Oh no, this is long because shit.
Well, it
And we
doesn't
are
matter. It's just the picture. I'm just looking at the picture here.
Uh,
And that's him
Riveting
basically
commentary.
charging and swinging his sword. It's not like the way he does it in Okio or the way he does it as a close combat.
amazed by the brilliant white wings of Byakuya's new ability, Ichigo compliments him on it. Ichigo goes on to apologize because he does not have anything as fancy as Byakuya's various abilities, as Zangetsu only taught him the Getsuga Tensho. Despite this, he resolves to put everything he has left in his final attack. He begins to summon and compress his remainder Retsu until he is covered in a circular black aura that contrasts strongly with the white light of Byakuya's appearance.
Yeah. Also, the fact that
look
like
at the picture I've just linked. It's not just an aura. It's clearly Ryatsu.
Well, yeah. 'Cause
Okay,
that's what auras are in this series.
But spiritual power, or however you utilize, is entirely different from a technique which he did not call out the name for.
Yes, I know he did not call out the name for that there, but he
So
basically
it's just
referred
as
to that
likely
technique while
that-
talking
Also,
about it.
here's my problem with it. Like the Retsu is around the handle in his arm. Usually, the Getsuga Tensho goes around the blade.
It doesn't show up every single time in the same way. I have done many gifts on this. It does not show up in every single time the same way.
Well, I'm still going to disagree with you on it. I still say he slashed him because you don't cut with the Getsuga Tensho, you hit.
I have seen Ichigo slash with the Getsuga Tensho. He actually slashed Renji with it.
And in fact,
And
they
then it
didn't even
exploded
slash.
afterwards.
What they did was the point of contact was between the two daggone blades that basically
Yeah.
Byakuya's split into the various daggone freaking shards and stuff like that, and that's why Ichigo ended up winning. It wasn't really a thing of Getsuga Tensho is a firing off
Yeah, I know.
blast
It's a gathering of his
type
Ryatsu,
situation.
and
It's like,
he fired
I don't
off.
think
He can use it. He's
I don't
utilized it in many different ways throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, but he has.
I
But up
understand
until
that,
Gura,
but-
he never kept it in his sword, so it can't be that.
He wasn't. That's not in his sword. I just showed you the pictures. Two of them.
Well, he didn't fire it either. So what is it?
What do you mean he didn't fire it? Of course
He didn't. No, he. Oh, according to Sally, didn't. And I'm gonna use Sal.
Yeah, and when he was fighting Renji, it just exploded in a big massive bubble.
Yeah, but he's further.
He has used it
God.
in many different ways, especially when in
But-
the early days.
In that battle, that is not what happened. That is what we were talking about in that battle against
But you're
Byakuya.
basically
That is not what
basically
happened.
asserting that I only know this one technique, but I'll do another technique that I'm not going to
No.
call out the name for.
No, that's not the same
No,
technique.
he's explaining that the whole point of what we were just talking about was the fact that he compliments Byakuya on having all these different abilities and techniques and stuff like that, and saying that he can't do all those things. He was only taught the Getsuga Tensho. But every time he has used the Getsuga Tensho, he has named it.
Well,
He has
not
fired
every
something
time.
off in some way, shape, or form and stuff
When
like
he learned,
that.
after he learned the name of it, he named it. Yeah. When he was rich, he didn't know the name, but like every time he did that, it's been like Getsuga Tensho.
Yeah. In this particular instance, he just says that because Byakuya is using all these daggone techniques doesn't mean necessarily Ichigo was going to do so. And then he basically does what his Bankai is essentially explained to do, compress his, Retsu and stuff like that, make it stronger and stuff like that so he can attack. There was no energy output coming from that blade. It was all of him focused in that one hit.
Yeah, it's not the same as a technique. It's just him putting all of his power into one blow. That's
Now,
not
while
like
you are correct in him utilizing it in different ways, in that particular instance, I don't believe I cannot stand by the concept that the Getsu Tenshu was
He
being
doesn't
used.
actually use it the first time he uses it against Byakuya. He doesn't actually call it the Getsuga Tensho either. He actually tells him it after.
and
That
and
was
every
not
time after
true
that,
about the point where he says it every time.
every time after that, he said gets a good Tensho.
Not every time after that, no.
But
Okay, one at a
my
time.
point
I
is,
want to
in this
know.
particular instance, he's talking to Byakuya, says, "Congratulations to you for having all these abilities. I was only taught by Genzanketsu the one ability Getsuga Tensho." So he says it right then and there. But as far as him using the ability in that circumstance, it just didn't happen. Like that's what I'm saying. Like regardless of whether he did it, I'm not saying that all that other stuff that you're saying is not true. I'm just saying in this particular instance, with him versus Byakuya, that's not what happened.
So we're agreeing on something. That's actually kind of rare.
It's like
The last
thank you
time,
for bringing me and Jill
time,
together.
yeah, I mean the last time this happened was when Yushiro was introduced and we were talking about how about her crying him crying. Oh God, it's still worth it that it's a boy. Him crying over Yoruichi being gone, and then Son was like, that's like blah blah blah, and then you and me were like, no, that's okay, and yeah, it's always Son that brings us together somehow.
What?
Okay.
Also, it's also notable that
We got
although
off on a
Ichigo didn't
tangent.
either use it whenever he first used the Black Getsuga.
What?
We
He didn't
got off
also
on a
call it out.
tangent. As far as being a main character or a prominent character in Bleach, not anywhere else, Ichigo does use this technique far too often. Having
Yeah.
Yes, he
said
does.
that, we're past that point. Bach survives it, of course,
Of course.
Well, yeah,
and
because
then
like
they
if
have
it
a
just
little,
ended it now, that'd be kind of anticlimactic. We haven't even seen his Volstagg dig. Come on,
yeah, and then
ridiculous.
Ichigo pretty much says the most profound thing from information he learned previous. He says, I already know that I'm descended from your blood, and so what? I'm not
So
just gonna let
what?
you do whatever the hell you want to do. And then, Bach gets all on his arrogance. Is like, let me do whatever I want to do. He said, "Oh, we'll see. That's simply a matter of, these eyes of mine to decide." And I'm like,
Oh
oh,
yeah,
I want
'cause
this
what do you expect? It's I mean, come on. I mean, Ichigo was all badass and stuff, but also this is pointed out to me in the comments. Uh, Apparently, in page 16, after the blast is over, you can see his left arm has been injured a bit, like it's kind of burned and damaged or
Oh,
something.
that
Kind
that's total.
of,
That's a total trope for Ichigo, though. Every time he does it, someone gets a rearm.
that. Was
Like
that
the last
from
time that happened that was
grabbing?
Aizen. The last time that happened was Aizen when he blocked the Fragor.
Yeah, but no, no, no
No,
one.
I mean Ichigo's arm was burnt, not like.
Ichigo burnt his own arm.
Well, yeah, you can see it. It's damaged, and well, it might not be from the Getsuga
Well,
Tensho, but it was damaged in some way.
he
Yeah, well,
grabs
sure, it might have
he
been when it
grabs
was on
Bach.
that sword.
Bach makes that black construct or whatever. Ichigo grabs his arm, and then some craziness happens
Oh yes,
somewhere
Sun
between
came out.
that and him using the Getsuga Tensho. There was a section there where I guess I don't know, something happens and Ichigo's arm gets all messed up.
Yeah, well, so I saw like a panel with like blood coming out of Juju Man's arm, and I'm not sure what's up with that, but like, eh,
Very confusing.
whatever.
So yeah, they're on at their standoff, which likely means a fight between him and Bach is coming.
Unless, of course, he is entered by Gerard, just out of nowhere. I mean, because I presume that the Elite Exterminator and Ashwalt and Uri are gonna come back at some point, because otherwise, like, what?
Exactly. My point is, where the hell did they go? Where is there to go? What's more important than this happening right now?
They're having tea time. It's tea
Like,
time. Come on.
Bach already cheated by using freaking cheat code game hacks, freaking Game Shark,
Cheat
on
game shark. Game,
on
the
his own powers
Future
and
Man,
stuff
the
like
G
that,
the game
and
shark.
and brought back, you know, his quote unquote elite Sternritter, who were rightly daggone freaking cut down by, Nemaya, who used his great swordsmanship skills and nothing else. That's how nasty he is. And
Well,
they were rightfully dead, and he cheat hacked his way into making them overpowered or something like that in order for them to win. Because even with the Volstandig and their unique abilities, they still would have lost. So, but no, he had a ash wall and damn near his entire army of Sternritter in order to give them enough power to be able to defeat like 5 people.
at least there was like some sacrifice involved. It wasn't just like, okay, you're back now. Go ahead.
Well,
You
this is
know.
my whole thing. This is my biggest issue with, I think, Bach, is that, there doesn't, I mean, I think we pretty much determined that he is a human or some amalgamation of human. Um, Ichibe called him a human and stuff like that. He's obviously not a
Urban
soul or a
human.
Shinigami, but he's obviously very much empowered. And what makes no sense is that the whole concept behind the Quincy final form was that you had all this power, but because you were human, you know, you only have that power, for a certain amount of time, and then it goes away, and then you have no power at all. It burns out because, there's consequences to having that much power, and anything, prolonged or anything like that could kill somebody.
Hmm.
There doesn't seem to be any upward, issue with the fact that none of these Quincy, with all their capability, don't seem to have any inherent weaknesses that comes back on them for using this level of power.
I think the Volstandig doesn't like do what the Let's Still did in that it doesn't like
I don't think so
inflate their
either.
power, and I still stand by that the Let Still is way more powerful destructively than any Volstendig we've ever seen aside from maybe Bambietta's. Because like Uryu like leveled like a good chunk of the Serite with a few arrows, and whereas like everyone else has just been like, okay, here's
Was it
some
a few?
spiffy
I could have
attacks.
sworn it was only like one.
Well,
Well,
like,
what you're
well, like
is
he also like just he in total he did a lot of damage, and like
Hmm.
one did a bunch of it, and then the
he
others did some.
with that power, it seemed like he claimed a level of ultimate Quincy. With the Volstandig, it seems more like a power enhancement type of deal,
Yeah, you haven't
on
seen any
their
sort of like
existing
indication.
powers, but they have to use certain techniques. Like when Quills used the Scalandi or whatever it is called and stuff like that. That was,
Scleveria.
yeah, yeah. When he used that technique was reminiscent of something that was already ingrained within the final form that Yuryu used.
Yep.
So my guess is that by separating these powers out, instead of making them all, incorporating them all in one daggone thing, as the Lit Still was, they separated them out so that you can enter the quote unquote complete form of the Vostandig and get benefits to it without being so powerful that you end up ripping yourself apart and then after the fact losing all your powers.
Yeah.
My guess would
Also,
be that
yeah,
after Quills used that whatever all those techniques and the most techniques that we ever seen any Quincy use in the entire series, but after Quills used all those things, I'm thinking that he was pretty much probably going to be done for after that. I think that probably would have been it for him as far as him being a Quincy or even alive.
yeah.
And
I didn't know something else. Like I think I mentioned I didn't mention this in the podcast, but of the uh of the Volsini we've seen so far, all the unnamed ones, save for Gramaniel, well, and Gramaniel, are just like some wings, right? and a halo,
and a halo.
and they're different, right? Yeah, but then the three of the named ones, Pisciel, Gudo and Tatar Faras, all of them have very unique appearances. Like they change a lot more about their user in some way, and and I thought, and there's my reasoning for why Kubo chose to name those, and like why they're always different. To me, it's always about like putting in more effort for them in the first place. So why not make them that? But what I want to make note of is when Uryu used when all those new Quincy did that, whenever they gained any like sort of accessories like their wings and stuff, it always looked kind of not solid. Like it looked like it was just Reishi condensing like an energy condensation around them. And it was just it still looked like energy because it was just Reishi. But when Uryu used the Let
Unlike in the
Still,
Let Still, it was actual
like
armor.
yeah, it was like solid armor that was condensed by Reishi, and so I feel like that indicates in itself like a greater degree of control over Reishi, and just like a greater power than the Volstendi grants, because it does seem to kind of raise like a Quincy's abilities to its peak without going like so far above that they just lose all their powers from being burned out by what they get. It's kind of like because
It's more like
um
a boost. I wouldn't say peak. I would say it's like a boost of
well
power.
well well yeah,
You
yeah
know,
that's kind of what I mean, like yeah, because technically they're at the peak of power if they're using the Samurai glove to use it in the first place,
it's like
but
when Robert was fighting against Shansui, he used it momentarily.
yeah, just for like a
You
second,
know,
just to attack him,
and I
just
also
once.
think it apparently it's hard. It's not something that all of the Quincy, especially the Stern Ritter, are capable of effectively controlling, and
Or attaining.
that
They
yeah,
did
or
train for it
obtaining.
apparently,
And then
according to
and
Jill.
then on top of that, it all seems to be somewhat connected because when they were all pretty much like forced into it at that one point when dang, what was that? They were
It
all
was
forced in at the same time.
yeah. I remember. I know what you're
I
talking
forget
about. It
I
was
forget what
after
happened to make that
it was
happen.
after the Shinigami got their Bankai back. It seemed like Jujuman like remotely activated it somehow by like increasing the concentration of reishi in the atmosphere or something or other. Like
Yeah, and
that
everybody's
is
turned
triggered it.
on.
Yep.
So it's like, if one person's turned on, then it's just like a chain reaction. So it's like they're all somewhat connected in a way. It's like they're pulling on a reserve of power or something like that or something. I don't know.
Yeah. It's yeah. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I
And then
don't.
somehow all the Elite Center have the same one with like the angel wings, which is
Yeah,
interesting.
there's very little variation.
I
You
mean,
know,
for some reason,
um,
Purina has like really small ones. So that's like the only difference I can notice between them.
little Toto has small ones as
Oh,
well.
ow, ow.
But it's like spiky, and then but these are like
Yeah,
this little small like dove wings, you know. Although
yeah, and
those do look more solid than the other ones do. So I don't know. So
but
it's
it's
all
safe to
very
say that Bach has powers that are Quincy related, and there's
yep,
powers that he claims that are
his own from birth.
his own, which is really interesting because it's like being having the Quincy powers is entirely separate, and if he's a Quincy, it's I don't know. There's something not right because even himself seems to be he doesn't even seem to use much of the Quincy abilities.
I'm
I
not
mean,
so
He
sure
just
about
has the
that.
eyes.
I mean, no, we've seen him use them, of
Yeah.
course, but as soon as they were, how do you say, ineffective for his purposes, he resorted to his primary abilities, which pretty much is, taking.
Yeah, which is kind of like Quilji, how he just used everything he had, and when that didn't work, he used the jail.
Yeah,
It's kind of like
Yeah,
that.
and it was only then. Oh, by the way, I'm the jail.
It's a Jiru.
yeah. And as those powers are, box powers to give and apparently to take, um, and it pretty much, yeah, like I think exactly what I have been saying. He is a parasite. He is the exact opposite of the Soul King.
Cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah,
The Soul
and
King is balance. He is, creation. He is all
He
those
is
positive
chaos.
things, I guess you could. And whereas Bach is the exact opposite, he doesn't really so much create, he takes. As he even said, he said everything in this world is mine to
all those
take.
mine for the
He
take.
takes, and what
Yep.
little he does create is for him to take later on. There is
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
no actual creating of anything. The Soul King's whole, responsibility and existence is based on maintaining and, balancing and the Shinigami and all the other stuff. All of
Yep.
this to daggone keep a balance of souls so that three separate divisions of dimensions, Hueque the human world, and Soul Society can exist, and they all exist in a wheel of, recycling, resurrection, and all other good Eastern philosophy type stuff. And the
Real
Soul
time.
King, and Bach kind of represents the exact opposite of that scenario. And you can see that I guess he's the personification of all that chaos and evil. Doesn't care if everything goes down in destruction because, you know, that's his thing. His thing is to take, which I guess on a certain level, even though I do not like the guy, on a certain level, that puts him above somebody as, somebody even like Aizen.
Yep.
Because Aizen, for all his bluster and everything like that, Aizen without the Hogyoku is nothing but a Shinigami.
A powerful
There is
one, but
a powerful one, but a Shinigami nonetheless. And even without his Zanpakuto, which is, as we have stated before, is basically the Shinigami's abilities given so much relevance that it has its own personality, which mirrors the Shinigami in question, and is separate from them, but is actually basically manifesting with their true powers. Even with out the Zanpakuto, he's arguably powerful, at least Retsu wise anyway.
yeah.
But still he is nothing but a Shinigami, and questionably whether or not he is the most powerful one without without the Hogyuko, of course. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
would argue
he'll
he's not
never
without the Hogyoku.
he'll never be this, I guess, quintessential embodiment of just chaos like Bach is. There's no real way to put it because Bach
Aizen
has
to me
basically
is just the
achieved.
rebel. He's the first one to try and do it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and Bach is like what? Eisen's like what? He did this whole plan that he had was what 110 years old at the time. 110 years old daggone plan of trying to pretty much do what Bach did within the matter of a couple of days.
Yeah, because Bach and superior villain. He that good. Although I
I mean,
will.
Bach did
I
wait 1,000 years.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, he was asleep. He had to take a real long nap. He was hung over as shit. But
Yeah.
I just want to say about your point about his powers. I mean, I'd say that most certainly the Almighty and its abilities come from him being the son of the Soul King, whatever. Even if it's not biological or if it's just like a whatever, it's pretty clear that it's derived from that. And his like his power manipulation like ability, I would think that it's like a side effect of being descended from the Soul King, like a direct descendant as he appears to be, and that the reason that none of the Quincy's have that sort of thing is because they're not like is that I'm assuming that like he didn't just go around like banging everyone like Genghis Khan did, and so that he just
Yeah.
kind of passes powers down generations, right? Like in like family lines and stuff. So he gave them Quincy powers, but not like, but since they're not like related to him like by um I don't know genetics, they don't have his like power manipulative powers of like being able to share out his soul and whatnot because it's the only thing that he can
Well,
do.
it seems that Bach has been very clear in this chapter when it comes to, I mean, not just chapter, but in this arc when it comes to his abilities that, what the Quincy have, what little that they have, he
Yeah.
gave them.
Hmm.
And you can
When
take
he
it
says,
back when you want.
your blood runs through my blood runs through your veins type of situation, that can be something as simple as the same type of something as like a rudimentary version of the ritual that they use to become Sternritter,
Yeah.
and gain a letter. There could have been something rudimentary where he had a group of people and, they take in his blood or whatever, and that's how they gain the typical Quincy abilities. And then from there, they just, propagated and put it through their bloodline. But their various bloodlines and stuff like that. So therefore, he is the father of all Quincy. As long as you're a Quincy, you technically have his blood in your body,
Yep.
even generations down the line and stuff like that. As far as whatever he is, that's a whole different story.
I mean,
That's a whole
I
different
think
story.
yeah, he seems to be some sort of. I mean, we still don't know what like kind of son
What
he
yeah,
is.
what kind of concept it is that he is a quote unquote the son of the Soul King. Like we don't know
Yeah,
how that
I
how
don't
But
that
think he
but
was
concept.
I
banging
do think it
anyone.
makes him a hybrid like Ichigo, if it's even if it's not like part human,
I
part
don't
Quincy
know.
with Shinigami
I don't
and Hall of
know.
Powers.
Hybrid is the right word. It kind of reminds me of, mythology, where you can really realistically pick one. I don't care if it's Greek or if it's Egyptian or Japanese, Shinto belief or whatever. There's always a situation where one of the gods has a child, maybe a demigod.
Okay, okay, yeah,
Which
Yeah.
okay.
sounds,
I see what you mean like that,
and
but
or
like
maybe they may have not actually had any physical contact with that person. There was one where Zeus came like a ray of light or rained down on the woman like gold or something like that. Next thing you know, she's
and
pregnant.
oh, and they
Well,
also
well,
like
there
he also
was
came as a
Yeah,
bull and a swan,
there was Ra who
yeah,
basically
yeah, yeah.
jerked off and created his children by jerking off.
and then he like raped
Well,
Lita
there's
or
that.
something. And
No, I'm
yeah,
talking about
And I
Ra of
mean,
well,
Egypt.
I'm talking about
Egypt.
Zeus.
I know, I don't like talking about Zeus. Zeus
Zeus.
is a big man whore.
Yeah, well,
He
most of the
is.
gods were, but
Most of the
I think
gods were,
I
except for the
think,
nice virginal women.
and even in Percy Jackson, the Percy Jackson universe,
I read all those books.
Athena is a virgin goddess, but all of her children are not. She has children, which is weird for a virgin goddess, but the way she does it is that they come from the mental connection,
Yeah.
Oh
the
yeah.
intelligent connection that she has
Yeah.
with another person, with another man or whatever, and then
Hmm.
that child is born that way from the mind as opposed to biological
I
process.
know, like
So I mean,
it's a bit weird, ain't it?
there's various ways you can determine how somebody's. So if we're going to go, we have yet to find out exactly what it means, obviously. So we can only
Yeah.
Yeah.
surmise. But let's say for the sake of argument that, in whatever way it happened, he is the son of the Soul King. Obviously, as I just said, the Soul King represents and embodies a whole lot of positive traits and things about balance and so forth and so on. And Bach does not embody anything
Yep.
positively,
Aside from
and
destruction.
it's
Yeah.
aside from destruction. Now, for good or for bad, there are various mythological stories where God has a child and that child is the exact opposite, embodies something entirely opposite. Freaking who
Well,
was it?
let's all agree that the
Set.
best god to have babies
Yeah,
was Osiris. Like he was put back together and was still able to.
yeah, Osiris, and Osiris's brother Set is pretty much the embodiment of evil and chaos. Or
Of
is
Hmm.
that
course.
is that or is that or is
No,
that
that is Set.
eh,
Set. Yeah, it's Set. Yeah.
or is that a
Yes.
pep? Is that a pep? or
There's several of them,
or
but
Apophis. Well,
yeah, he was
anyway,
considered
there's
chaos.
something that embodies goodness and everything like that in existence, and then there's others that you could be your son, it could be your brother or whatever, and it can be embody the most negative traits. And there's question about whether or not those things need to exist in the world. The problem that we have in this scenario is that when you go, there needs to be a balance to things. Even when you talk about good and evil, you can't have evil without the good. Even like in the world of Avatar,
Well,
you have
you can't define good without evil, you know?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you can't
exactly.
hardly know
And
what good
like
is if bad shit don't happen.
exactly, and like even in the world of Avatar, you have what you talk about good and evil, but when it all comes down to is balance. There's Rava and there's Vatu. Rava is this spirit of good and order, and Vatu is a symbol of chaos and evil and stuff
And
like that.
neither of them can
And
ever win. I like that.
yeah, neither of them can ever win. Then they got separated, and then Rava became part of the Avatar cycle and all that stuff, and Batu was in prison. But the thing is, even if one were to win, then the one that loses would still be embodied within the other one until it's reborn again.
Hmm.
You can't have one without the other,
I
and
like that about Korra. I liked about watching that about Korra, getting that whole
that's the
insight.
whole thing with balance. Even in the what's the what you call it, the Top Cow universe, we have the darkness and you have the Angelus. One represents darkness and change and all that stuff, not necessarily evil. And the Angelus represents totality and order. And they've constantly been clashing against each other. And then one day they decided to have a child together, and that child was the Witchblade, which embodies balance, and the
Hmm.
Witchblade turns out to
Yeah.
be the only thing that actually cancel out the powers of either one of them. So,
I mean,
but
yeah,
that's the
there
whole
are
thing.
tons of examples like that. Like there's
Yeah,
like the thing about the Nephilim with the angels and the demons having children
right.
and like biblical
Or there's
prophecy.
what's my favorite one? Not, but it's not about really having.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it is about having kids as well. In Assassin's Creed, the way like the assassins are all about keeping peace, but by allowing people to be free, whereas the
The
Templars are all
Templar
about
order
keeping people in
or
order but they both want peace.
status quo. But then it turns out, if as you go into the series, it turns out that the Templar order has changed over time,
Hmm.
and that it has become more corrupted
Hmm.
Of course.
by this concept of order, to the point that it becomes all about taking away people's freedom entirely,
Hmm.
whereas originally it was about order within the confines of not allowing society to destroy itself. Whereas the assassins, their incessant need for complete freedom is
Hmm.
also dangerous, becomes dangerous as well. So there needs to
Yes.
be a balance
So they
there,
both
and
need each other.
neither
So.
side, yeah, neither side can seem to understand that, and then that's how you have that whole storyline. In this situation, the Soul King represents balance, and everything is in balance until Bach shows up. So the question becomes, if the in the Shinigami, we have a tendency to put in stories that, oh yeah, these guys are the good guys and the Quincy are the bad guys, but in reality, the Shinigami never have claimed to be
Good. Yeah.
good. They claim to be necessary, fulfilling a role. They're balancers. That's what they do.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
Now,
mean, there's that
the
whole thing at the beginning about Mayuri like killing like 33,000 Rukongai citizens just to keep the balance,
yeah,
Yeah.
and Yama was like, I would let you do it if you just told me. So
Yeah.
like,
yeah. And
you know,
Ichigo comes in, and we've seen this plenty of times in Bleach. Ichigo comes in, and whether it's in the manga or the anime, and he gets all flustered up with uh, you know, seeing how Soul Society does things, and that's kind of one of the things that kind of gets on my nerves about Ichigo, is that I understand where he's coming from, but you have to understand, but he never tries to understand where Soul Society is coming from, and that's including Rukia and Byakuya. They look at the bigger picture of the situation.
Yeah.
There's more important things than what's personal to you. Ichigo wants to save his family. He wants to save his friends. He wants to save Karakura Town, but that is not all that's important. In certain circumstances, yes, they're all that's important. You got to save Karakura Town so Aizen can't make the key type situation. But the thing is, whenever they try to explain to him, this is why this is happening, he's like, oh, screw y'all. I'm gonna go and save everything without doing it your way and stuff like that, because he can't see past himself, or
Hmm.
screw you
his,
guess I'm going home.
I
I was
guess you could
gonna
say,
say that. You're not allowed to take my words.
except
Sorry,
he
I've
can't
not watched South Park too.
he can't see past his very limited mortal teenage way of thinking.
Yeah, it's all about what's important to him, not what's important for the world.
To yeah, let not put it for word. And they've been trying to like beat this into him, like, you
Well,
just don't get it. And then it's so funny because it's so funny how Kubo writes it, because even Aizen, when he comes to Fake Karakura Town and confronts Aizen's like, why are you here? None of your friends or family is in danger because they're not here and stuff like that. They're safe, whatever, yada yada yada. And then Ichigo's like, oh well,
Well, okay. Well, here's the thing. So I feel
Well, he's
like
going to try
this
and kill his friends. He's
this
going to try and get there to kill them.
yeah, but at the time
like
Ichigo didn't have.
well here's the thing. So I feel like the sort of like of wisdom of knowing what's important in the grand scheme of things, aka keeping the balance, right?
Hmm.
That's the kind of
Right.
wisdom that comes with like centuries of being alive and seeing how the world works, which is what the Shinigami have. They're all well, most of them are like, 10
Older shit.
times
That's
Ichigo's age
yeah.
or whatever. Like even Rukia
Each
is like, I'm like 10 times your age, and
yeah.
and Ichigo seems to have grasped that a bit in this situation where Bach will destroy all reality. Because in this chapter, he's even he didn't say I'm going to defeat you to save my friends. He's going to say I'm going to defeat you to save all the realms,
Right.
which is what the Shinigami do in the first place. They keep even
Which
like a Mundo
is
in place,
Hmm.
even though it's the
which
home of
is
all
for
hollows.
Ichigo, which is for Ichigo, much to my surprise, growth for that for his
I
character.
know, right? He grew in he
'Cause,
grew in, well he grew in this arc because like he learned
Character
more about his
development.
past.
Yay. Sorry.
I mean, maybe we should put
yeah.
that on his article now. Character development under
I'm sorry.
personality.
I'm sorry, but just getting a flashback does not constitute growth as a character. It constitutes, oh, this is where I came from.
No, no, I'm saying that prompted it. It allowed him to
Yeah.
understand where he came from.
Okay,
So
prompted it.
it
Yeah,
led to.
okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying like, oh, my mom was a Quincy. Now I'm mature. Yay!
Yeah,
Because like he
but
matured from like his training and stuff.
here's the funny thing about that though. Whereas he could have made the whole thing personal, what he said was, "I'm here to save everybody. If I can, and even if I'm not the only one, or I get defeated or whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to step up, and they're
Yeah,
going to do the right thing for everybody." Where he could have made it personal, like your ass is the reason why my mom is dead,
exactly. Well, yeah,
because he
totally.
he could go down that path, but he took a step further, and it's not about you. It's not about what happened to you. It's about everything.
Yeah,
So that's the development.
he's kind of set aside like whatever he feels towards Bach for killing his mother and putting everyone else in danger, and it's just like I'm doing what I have to do for the sake of the greater good, you know.
Right.
Even and that means putting your ass down, so I'll put your ass down, and yeah, and so uh, so now I can root for him instead of being like there are bigger things in life, and that's always nice. So.
And it's always good to see the main character gets tremendous growth. It's like, when Kirano was,
Oh boy.
such a huge asshole.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
but but being in love with that girl that looks like she's 12 or 10, but she's really a teenager of the same age as him, and she's also very annoying, but being in love with her and everything actually helped him grow as a person to the point
Yes.
that he wanted to risk his life and battle in order to be with her
And,
again.
and it helped that
Same
like and
girl.
just for the viewers who don't know what we're talking about the manga Gantz, which is fantastic and also horrific. But
Yes.
yeah, it also helped they went so many
They talk
missions that
about this
saw.
all the time.
Well, no, we've only talked about like once before, so
No, no, no. You talk about it on the chat all the time.
like
That's
twice.
no, no. I
Yeah.
have seen it more than twice in that
You're seeing double.
Skype. I'm not.
You're seeing double. You're drunk. But
Not
but
tonight. I'm just tired tonight. I've started new meds though. Yay, new meds.
But I feel like it also helped that he had one of so many missions where he saw people die and he's like, I need to stop this. That also contributed to his growth. But back to Bleach. So yeah, so that is I feel like how do I say this? That it stopped being personal around the time that he learned that that he did learn that Bach was his super grandfather and that he killed his mother and Uryu's mother. And I think that's when he realized that this is more than just about him. That he took so many lives and is going to take even more with this thing. And it's not just like I had to protect my friends, I had to protect everyone who's going to kill. And so
See,
that what?
I was gonna say sometimes I think he's matured, and then I think he went back to Souls to Seirete for the simple reason just to go, oh hey, haha, Kenpachi, now I'm saving you. And then he was like, shit, I need to go back. Okay, I'm away again. And I was like,
How's that to do with like maturity? That was just like circumstance.
it just feels like that. It was just like, you know what it is? I'm gonna have him travel the whole way back here just so that he can stand over Kenpachi and go,
That's
haha.
not. That has nothing to do with like his maturity. That's just like Jujuman being like, okay, opportunity, take it, let's go. Yay.
I know what it was, but it just felt really like that was a really immature plot point in general.
Shh.
It
If you
I'm
say
here
was.
to
so. If
save.
you say
I'm
so.
here to save your ass. Which I must say, that whole point was kind of. I mean, the setup for that was just like tired. I'm like, come on. I mean, yes, we already had to go through the fact that somehow Kenpachi showed us that raw strength can beat imagination. I don't really
Oh,
have
please.
No,
We
no,
all
he
know
beat himself.
imagination beat imagination. We know it. Grammy beat himself.
It
these
was what he
muscles.
imagined
Your
Kenpachi to be.
your imagination has nothing on these muscles. Like
I
it's
got muscles on the
essentially
muscles. I got muscles on my
Like, do you know
eyeballs.
what it is, dude? I am so powerful that you can't even consider how powerful I am. And if you try it, you're just gonna
Well,
kill
we
yourself.
could
Boom.
go
See,
into
look,
like
you did it.
we could go into like Grammy's whole psychology bullshit like on another podcast, but to go back to what's happening right now,
Sorry.
um, I mean, yeah,
Well, like,
I
you know what it is? You gotta talk about the past to get to the future.
I I I'm pretty sure we've done that a lot in this podcast. A lot. We just went over like the entire arc in preparation for Ichigo's character
Well, I
development.
wasn't here last week, okay, Mrs. I want to do it early.
No, no,
I'm sorry, I
this
just
this podcast.
demasculated you, Mister.
Just call me Mrs.
Yeah, you're
Does
married.
this voice sound like a Mrs. to you?
You
Does it now?
quite possibly.
Wow, you have some very deep voice women in your life.
Oh, I
I'm
really do.
scared.
Like, seriously, you should hear
I'm
some
I'm
people over
I'm
here.
I'm scared.
It's scary.
But anyway, that's 618. It's pretty damn good, I want to say. I think Kubo I agree with Tenzon Getsu, the guy who does the other video reviews on YouTube. Kubo's been on a roll with the past 2 chapters inclusive. Like starting with Mimi Hagi, like it's starting to amp up pretty good
Well, to be
compared to the
quite honest,
previous
I've
one.
actually liked it mostly in the 600s. I have liked them all, bar the fact that I didn't get to see Hikifune fight other than, yay, I can grow a tree. No. I didn't get her to see her much, but obviously I knew they were going to sacrifice those guys just to go like, look how powerful they are, because now you're going to see them get defeated. But
Excuse me.
I have enjoyed the arc on the whole, other than, obviously I knew they were going to have to do, look how powerful these guys are. They always have to do those kind of fights whenever they're introducing bad guys. Otherwise, it's
Yep,
just not going to
Shonen.
be as, yeah, of course. Otherwise, it's not going to be
I mean, like,
wow.
if I've been thinking for a bit now, if Kubo jumped to a seinen magazine, I don't remember what it's called, but I feel like if he did, we'd see like a notable shift in the quality of the story and how well he plans it out. Because I'm not sure how many people who listen to this have read JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but it was a shonen magazine that was running for like 20 years, and in 2004 it moved to a seinen magazine for its 7th arc, right? And at that point, it started like it began like a noticeable like increase in like art quality, story quality, like emotional depth and stuff. And I feel like it would be interesting to see if Bleach could do that, and how it would transform how like how well the battles play out and how much uh foreshadowing Kugan put in instead of going week by week or
Here,
I
well,
mean
when he finishes in Weekly Shonen Jump, why don't you write to him and say, look, you should totally do a new Bleach version in Seinen, did you say there? And be like,
no, well,
give
like
me
I
the
mean,
job.
jump to it. I mean, I mean, I guess I should have asked him to do this like before this arc started, because if he does it in the middle of one, that'd be kind of weird. Because first of all, you have to get a new magazine to read it, and second of all, like that would just give us like ginormous once a month chapters. Well, first of all, I'd be happy when we complain about length anymore, but
No,
yeah,
I prefer weekly. I do like a wee weekly burst of Bleach.
I mean, yeah,
uh,
um,
monthly
but
would be really hard because you just be like, when is it gonna come out? And then it finally does, but then you have a whole lot of reading to do, and
oh no,
I don't
so
know.
much reading, too many words. Not in Bleach with its
Maybe,
massive panels.
maybe, maybe bi-weekly would be good.
I'm not.
Bi-monthly, you
I,
mean?
well,
So you want months?
No,
yeah,
no,
like
not
no. Well,
bi-monthly. I said
Sal,
bi-weekly. I know what I just
I
said.
had to check.
So you want the weekly
See.
magazine to come out bi-weekly now? So
No, here's
so
the thing.
bi-weekly
So
Shonen
with
Jump.
with how the manga magazines work in Japan, they all have a strict release schedule, and so if you're in like one magazine, you have to write like however many pages and release that much, and it's like within a confined like it's like 15 to 20 pages or so for like a weekly one, depending on stuff. And if it's like a seinen where it comes out once a month, you can put more time into it and have like 40 or 50 pages. I don't think there is a bi-weekly magazine. I think it's just weekly and monthly. But
Bi-monthly would be good.
bi-monthly Bleach, I'm not sure we could all handle waiting for that much story. That would be like a 100-page chapter.
No, bi-monthly, like twice a month.
Oh, um, all right, words.
Oh, right, hold on.
Uh,
Wait, is bi-monthly mean over there? What?
uh,
I'm so tired. I need to go look this up.
well, whatever we want to say, like twice a year. Over here we say twice a year. If it's biannually, it's like every 2 years.
Oh,
So.
so we're gonna get a new Bleach every 2 years. Damn, we would still be on like chapter 12 or something like I don't.
Oh, please, no,
All
no.
right, I got it wrong. My apology. Twice every.
Right. Well,
All right,
anyway.
yeah, no, it's two different ones. Twice every month or occurring once every 2 months. All right, okay. So we were both
Oh,
right. How does
okay.
that work?
Once. But anyway, aside from length stuff, yeah, that's about wraps it up. I think we've went in a lot into this chapter, more so than I thought we would.
Did we?
So yeah, well, yeah, because it was first like the chapter, and then we went into like all this stuff about mythology and what Jujutsu represents and Ichigo's development.
Hey, that's what we get paid the big bucks for. Wait a minute, we don't get paid for this.
You don't
I
get
know we
paid for
don't
this.
get paid for this. Otherwise, if I
will
got
be
paid for this, I
talking
get drunk more often.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, come on now. Are you gonna get
Well,
on like people didn't like me being drunk?
No, I'm saying that if we're gonna get drunk, we need shift hosting the call so you don't take it hostage. That's all I
I
want.
feel we
Shipping
should
the.
get
I
paid
did
for
not
this.
take
I
the call
mean,
hostage. I
Yes,
just told
you
you to stop.
did.
See, you're doing it
Yes,
again. You're doing it again.
did.
Wah. No, I told you to shut the
can
hell
quote
up.
you.
I
I
was
can quote
talking. That's
you
what I
word
said.
for word. I said at the end of the podcast, I said, "Can we end this now?" You're like, "No." I said, "Can we end this?" You said, "No," and you didn't give a reason why. You were just like, "No," and I was like, "Why?" And you're like, "No."
Did you even
And so
listen to that podcast?
I did. I listened to it
Oh,
a couple times.
no. The reason I was saying no was because I couldn't find the off button.
You should have said that.
That's why. Do you not really get my tones anymore? Seriously,
No,
you need to like
because you
move.
were
You still need to
drunk.
move over here. Seriously, it was like
Drunk and lying
no.
about
It was
talking. I
basically.
couldn't take
See
anything at
see when
face
you
value
say
at
see
that
when I
point.
say no, that is basically me saying yeah, I don't know how.
You know, prior to that, you were talking about space porn, so I couldn't really take anything at face value.
Spaceport? Was I talking about space porn?
Yes, I mentioned a site called Tanger, and you're like, space porn? Space porn? Porn taken in the vacuum of space? And I remember this quite clearly. You were drunk at the time. So
Right, well,
I couldn't
to
take
be
anything you
honest, I
said.
wasn't drunk. I was happy.
You were on happy juice, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was on happy juice. Like last week, I was drunk on the Friday. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, geez, you would have been. Yeah, and you were like bawling your eyes out over your friend leaving, so that would have been
I wasn't
interesting.
actually bawling my eyes out, but I was upset, of course. But I wasn't bawling my eyes out.
Well, anyway.
I did my crime when he first told me.
All right. Well, I think that wraps us up.
Does it wrap us up, Sal?
I think it does.
Mm-hmm.
Does it wrap us up?
Yep. Wrap it up.
Suppose.
What?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Well. Thanks for listening.
Yay, thanks for listening. Sorry, I'm tired and not.
Follow us on MySpace and
MySpace.
locate our GeoCity, please. And
And Bebo.
oh yeah, and don't forget to listen to us on last.fm. And yeah, we'll see you next time for 619. Presumably on my birthday.
Oh,
Which
it's
is
going to be his
sick.
birthday. He's going to be an
Yeah,
old
I'll
fogey.
finally be an adult.
He'll
I'll
finally
finally
be
be
old.
18. I can finally
He
go
will
and
be
listen to the
old.
army and die in some godforsaken
He
foreign
will
country.
be old.
Yay.
What? Wait,
Yes.
I thought you could join the army at 16. No?
Nope, not over here.
16.
You
Oh, you
please.
see,
Maybe
this is
the
why.
trash but like,
This is why Dago Britain had no Dago This is why Britain had no Dago generation after Dago World War II. You didn't gonna send all your freaking kids off to war. Hey, you're 12 here, hold a gun.
I mean,
To be
I
fair,
mean,
right,
yeah,
hold on. To be fair, my
you can take
friend,
her
one of my
age,
good
but
friends
like,
growing up in school, her great granda lied to get into the war and said he was 18 and he was actually 14 and he was fighting. He survived World War One.
And nobody noticed. Nobody noticed that a 14-year-old
when I was
was
14,
fighting
you
the
know,
Nazis.
nothing like an
It wasn't
18-year-old.
Nazis, it was the Germans.
I was like a sophomore, but not like a
It was World
senior.
War One.
Okay,
Jesus.
wait a minute. So wait a minute. Oh, okay. I was about to say.
It was
I was
World
about
War
to say,
One.
what's the difference? He's like, no, I specifically was fighting the Germans and not the Nazis.
No,
He's
it
like,
was it was the
so
first
What's
one.
the
The second one
difference?
was
I mean,
just running around killing.
and I hate Jews, so like, there's no difference really.
no. The Jews didn't come in until the second one. It
The
was
Jews,
the first one.
the Jews didn't exist until World War II. Damn it.
No. The Jewish question didn't exist until like
The
it
Jewish
didn't.
question.
Well, sorry, I shouldn't say the Jewish question. The Jewish
Are Jews
solution.
real?
The
Are-
Jewish
or
solution
are there
of, oh crap, we've started a war, now we can't deport them to Madagascar. Shit, we better
Yeah.
kill them.
The Jewish question: do they exist or are they leprechauns?
I don't know. Shiffy?
Are we
Wait,
still
hold on. Why are they
recording?
leprechauns? Yeah, we're still recording. Yeah.
Okay, so
know it's over.
I think it needs to be made very clear
We're not
that
racist.
Zill is kidding and he's not anti-Semitic anyway.
No, I'm not. I have Jewish friends. I joke around with them all the time on this
Shiffy is
shit.
Jewish.
Yeah, Shippy is very
We
Jewish.
make fun of it, but no.
He is a living shekel. So
Yeah.
Like,
Like
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. When I make like jokes like about like race or whatever, I'm never serious
of course.
because it's a joke.
Them's just jokes. But
I'm a grammar Nazi, not an actual Nazi.
horribly, very, bad taste jokes, but jokes nonetheless.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, I know. I have horrible taste. That's been well established. But
I
anyway,
had a milkshake.
we're okay.
Sorry.
We're done
But yeah,
for real.
no. To be fair, no. Right? No, he was only 14 and he survived. He signed up and survived World War One, where there was no Nazis because they did not come into play until what was it,
We know
1924?
we know here we know history.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So they weren't there.
No.
The people that would become Nazis were there, but they weren't there. My great grandad was also in the war, and now this here actually is a reflection of my childhood. My granny told me that he got his leg cut off 13 times. So I thought his leg grew. No. I thought his leg grew back 13 times. I thought
He's Wolverine.
I thought
He was Wolverine.
Never really questioning why that didn't make any sense.
Okay, I was a child. I was very young at the time.
At the age of 6, I was
like-
born without a face.
I know.
Granddad is a mutant. He has a healing factor.
Grows
I-
back
He
legs.
used to work for Shield.
I know.
You know, the
That,
original
my granny used
version.
to tell me that until I realized that
Oh,
it actually
dear.
caught gangrene and it kept spreading up, so he had 13
Did he ever meet
operations.
Captain America?
No, no, he never did.
No.
No, by
Right,
that
you guys
time he had a
saw me
wooden
at all?
leg.
Oh dear.
So yeah, there you go. On a happy note of just so that we get away from the
Oh, yes.
anti-Semitic news,
Yeah.
my granddad is a mutant.
Yes, and my granddad
Please.
died like 13 times. He got better though. Anyway,
Yeah. But
I
in
think
the end, it turned out that he actually had gangrene and he had to have 13 operations to keep cutting parts of his leg off as opposed to his leg.
Wow. Why don't you just save yourself all the daggone freaking drama? Just cut off the leg. Let me take
Yeah.
parts of your leg off. Like,
Yeah,
come on.
Jesus
Because
Christ.
obviously, you know, back in the day, once you take off a leg, you know, they didn't have very good friggin' prosthetics. It was World War One for crying out loud. This wasn't World War
Gave
Two.
him a peg leg. That's all you
So,
need.
like, you know, they obviously were trying to save as much as they could, and then they ended up with not very much in the end.
Alright,
Imagine
well,
that.
but you
Imagine
gotta
that,
save
like,
his
after, like, the
leg.
second operation going, oh, come on, really? Again? 13
You gotta save this
Alright.
man's leg, or else his career as an Olympic runner is gonna be over.
Oh no, my precious modeling career.
Well, to be fair, actually, his brothers, I think his brothers didn't make it. One died in the battle. I think it was the, is it Ypres? Cyprus or whatever.
Cyprus?
What he needs is
Not
some
Cyprus, it's
bleach. He
Ypres
needs
or
some
something like that.
bleach technology
So
because
one of
they've been replacing arms and legs for I don't know how long now.
yeah, well, he's only had it was a wooden leg. It was a really bad leg. But his brother
What
died
you
at
what
Ypres or whatever it is, and then his other brother got sent home on shore leave, and on the way home, the train was coming in, and the crowds they were so eager to get on the train, someone pushed them in front of the train.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
Imagine getting out of that situation to go.
Well,
Jeez. Well,
to save your grandfather's leg, you know what should have happened is, you know, they should have taken him to Mimihagi and you know, just sacrifice that leg.
Mimi Hagi
Probably
is
wouldn't
so...
have saved.
Screw
Actually,
that!
now that I
I'm
think
going to
about it,
Mayuri. I'm going to Mayuri for.
now that I think about it, that really wouldn't have worked in his favor because he would have just lost the leg anyway. So,
Oh, yeah, no, yeah.
You know what it is? Just cut the damn thing off.
And the leg.
Just cut the
Take the
damn leg
gangrene
off
and the
and go
leg
to
out of him.
Mayuri and go, Mayuri, have you got a wee injection there? Oh, you do? Thank you. There you go.
Oh,
we took
yes.
your leg, but we sacrificed it to this obscure god that you probably don't believe in. But hey,
But at least you have gangrene, you know?
at least you don't
There's no
have gangrene.
But if God
He said,
ever
you know-
dies, do you know what it is? Hey.
Anyway,
If Lucifer ever gets up there, you know where your leg's going.
You sacrificed your soul to the devil to save that leg. Like,
is it worth it? Was it really worth it?
was it really worth it? I don't think so. Really don't.
But yeah,
Anyway,
on that
World
note,
War One and Bleach, so interconnected it hurts. All the references. Anyway, I'm Zill, and this has been the podcast for Chapter 618, The Dark Arm. Holy crap!
or not the
All
dark,
right.
but not the dark leg, the 13-time leg.
Yeah, the 13 dark legs of severness.
13 times.
Anyway,
The horrible lies your grandparents tell you.
Actually,
Yeah. Yeah.
no.
And Kubo's
Actually,
somehow
no,
increasingly
I didn't
better
even
at
think
this.
of Wolverine whenever I thought of it. I thought of a starfish. It's like, it's my
Grandpa.
granddad. It's
So
my-
that makes you part starfish. Congratulations.
It wasn't actually
not
my
your grandpa,
grandpa.
I'm
It was my
Patrick.
great grandpa. It was my great grandpa. It was my
Yeah.
daddy's.
Wow. Your grandfather is Patrick. That's not a step up. It's really not a step up. Patrick's mentally disabled. Let's no. He's a starfish, and his best friend's a sponge that lives in a pineapple. What?
Right, I'm
So that's your
sorry, I still haven't
that's your
ended the
grandfather.
podcast.
That's not something I would be surprised telling everybody. My grandfather's Patrick. Like, that's horrible.
No.
Isn't Patrick? And it's funny. That's funny. Isn't Patrick an Irish name?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually the Irish
So
form of it is Patrick.
Your
Patrick.
grandfather was the inspiration for Patrick from SpongeBob.
I'm sure
Wonderful.
Patrick and I
His
let
name
out
was not
Bangkok
Patrick.
with so much
Pod.
blood.
It's actually the Irish form of it is Podrick.
Podrick?
His name is not Patrick, but it's based on a real life person. Your grandfather, the starfish.
This is based on a true story. Only the names, places, and events have been changed.
Try not to laugh. It's too late, man. It's too. It's.
Well,
Have to.
alright, I know.
Sorry.
Let's please end this.
Meanwhile, my grandfather was a judo sensei, so that's almost the same thing. Starfish,
I
judo
mean-
sensei.
I mean, no, your grandfather was Sandy.
Yeah. Sandy knows
Oh.
karate or something. That
Oh.
seems legit.
And meanwhile, Syl's grandfather's the one that gives all the wishes. He's the fish that comes out of the sea and it's like, yay, I'm magic. What?
What are you
Oh,
talking
he's
about?
Mr. Crab. Zill is Mr. Crab.
My grandfather chops wood. He lives in the forest.
He's
Okay.
He lives in the
woodpecker.
forest above the sea.
Okay. Zill's grandfather is Grizzly Adams. Anyway.
He's Yogi Bear. What are you talking about?
Yogi Bear.
Right.
Nick Musk.
It's interesting how everybody's related to animals.
Yeah, I know, right? And no, Schiff is related to Mr. Krabs because he's Jewish.
Yeah,
That's why.
shit, that's why we slept.
He's a filthy money grubbing Jew, as he's established
I don't-
before.
I don't understand how. Okay, Mr. Crab owns a hamburger.
Is he on the SpongeBob podcast?
He owns a hamburger place and his daughter is a whale. How does that work if he's a crab?
Why is his
Magic.
daughter a whale?
Yeah, he's
A
a
whale,
crustacean.
you
His
mean?
daughter's a mammal.
Did you say his daughter's a
An
wheel?
actual, no, a whale, like a
No, she
WHALE,
says a
like
wheel.
A whale.
You said a
yeah.
wheel. I swear to God you
My
did.
my basic question is, who dropped acid and made this show? And on top of that, what were the studio execs at Nickelodeon, getting high off of when they said this would be a good idea?
Like every PCP, of
I think
course.
you know what they were getting high off? They were getting high off hot pants. They decided to put sponges in hot pants and went, "Way!" He's totally in shorts.
Eh,
Those aren't pants. Those are hot pants.
Well, they're square pants.
They're hot pants.
You can have short pants.
They're hot pants.
Also, square hot pants doesn't go as well as square pants
I know, but they're still hot pants.
I don't think
I don't know. You might look good in some square pants, son.
they at least
Me? I used to wear hot pants a lot.
I mean, in order for those pants to be square, they're going to need some serious starch, and they're probably going to be very uncomfortable to wear. But hey,
I wonder should I bring
Alright.
up a picture of me in hot pants? Hold on.
Oh, can we please end this podcast? We're going
Do
to
we want to?
derail.
Does anyone want to see
In-
the hot pants?
We're going to derail into hell if we keep going like
I
this.
know, we should probably end it. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, only no.
okay,
only
that's
ladies.
the end of the podcast. You don't get to hear
For
us
real.
rant anymore.
For real.
Son, shut it down.
Bye,
Shutting it down.
everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Slan
Bye.
go foil.
Bye.
Slan, slanny slan.
Jesus.
Guy Gazunt.
Wait. Okay,
Au
slan.
revoir.
Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Adios. Slanny go
Hasta
foil.
luego.
Hasta luego. Hasta la mañana. Sorry.